Hey guys, it's just me, Andy, today at the office, and I wanted to do a video about all the different types of supports that might be available to you. So before we get started, a little disclosure. So I'm a special education graduate, so there's some holes or gaps in my education. One of them happens to be spelling and grammar. So if anything is misspelled, please let me know, and I will correct it as best I can. So with that out of the way, today we're going to talk about supports. And so I was going to kind of go over what all of these are and how they might be a little bit different. So the first one is individual counseling. So that's a lot of what I do. So where an individual will come in to work with a counselor individually. So the next one is couples counseling. So that's where the couple comes in to work on their partnership. And how that's different is that the couple is what is considered the clients, or the thing that's the entity that's being worked on, not this individual or that individual. It is the partnership itself that's being worked on. So usually what happens is what can happen is that the two individuals that are in couples counseling may also have their own individual counselors where they're doing different types of work. So couples counseling is just working on the partnership, not, hey, I'm going to align with this person if I'm the counselor, and this partner and I are going to really focus on, hey, how this partner needs to change, or I'm going to focus on just how this partner needs to change. That's not helpful. It's not kind of how couples counseling works. It's the whole couple that comes in and how the whole couple can change. So the next one would be family therapy, family counseling. And that has a lot of similarities to couples counseling in that the family is what's considered the client or the entity that's being worked with. So there still might be individual counselors within that family. So family member 1's got their own individual counselor, and family member 2 has their own individual counselor, that they're working through their individual stuff. Excuse me, and that may bubble over into the environment, the communication between family members, the expectations that family members have for each other, and things like that. And that's where family counseling comes in, to work on the whole family and how the whole family can work through that, or how they can support each other with all the different things that are going on. And that usually is about a weekly, could be every other week. Sometimes it could be twice a week, depending on where things are at. If more support is needed than that, then there is HCT, which stands for Home and Community Treatment or Therapy. I've heard the T being mentioned both ways. So in the state of Maine, that's what we call it anyways. And what that is, that's a more intensive type of support where a counselor will come in to do family therapy with the family, either in the home or in the community. And then a BHP, which stands for Behavioral Health Professional, somebody that has their bachelor's, will come in and work with the counselor and work with the family to support the family in implementing the changes or implementing the skills and strategies that were discussed in family therapy with the counselor. Now this is usually a little bit more intensive. It could be up to 13, 14 hours a week of support. And that's not all family therapy. That'll be some family therapy, that might be some individual therapy, and that also will be work with the BHP, working with people on how to implement the coping skills and changes and stuff like that. And it's not all very dry, sit down, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. It's kind of, you do your everyday life and have that support along the way. And so what's below that, it's not a type of counseling, but it is a big support, is case management. So I think of case managers as resource or support experts. They're really good at being able to connect you and find ways to connect you with different resources and different supports that you may need, whether that is in the mental health world, whether that's at school, whether that is with your medical support or that team, or even transportation or housing and food and all of that stuff. That's what case management is really helpful, being able to help support you in accessing those different supports. So changing gears real quick to supports in the form of therapy groups. So therapy group is where a group of individuals are getting together to do the same type of therapy. So there's going to be coping skills that are discussed. There's going to be, some sharing. Hey, I've tried this out. This is where I went. This is what I went through, and that sharing can be very healing and very helpful. And that is facilitated by counselors. Now, the next is a support group. A support group is different because it doesn't have to be facilitated by counselors. So Kayla and I facilitate a NAMI support group, a National Alliance on Mental Illness. But one of the really nice things about NAMI is you don't have to be a professional to facilitate this group. Somebody that wants to, and boom, you can. And a support group is different in that you're not going to be given homework. You're not going to be, hey, this week we're going to work on this coping skill and you're going to go practice it and come back next week or next month and tell us how it went. That's not how a support group goes. It is people that have been through similar things that are getting together just to be supported by each other. So there may not be necessarily a specific goal or task that's being worked on each time. Hey, we got this curriculum we got to follow. That's not the case with support groups. Support groups like AA or NA or Empty Arms. So those are all different, very helpful, very supportive examples of support groups. So the next one is a psychoeducational group or class. So this could be something like NAMI does a family-to-family class where family members of somebody that has mental health challenges can go take this class where they can be taught about this mental illness, this mental health challenge, and they tailor it to them. DBT, I think, can also fall into this, so dialectical behavioral therapy, where you're taught these skills, how to apply it, how these things may fit into your life, and go home and practice them, try them out, give in some homework, and come back and learn some more. So this is a much more learning group than a therapy group. So IOP stands for Intensive Outpatient Therapy. And so what this is when you go to either an agency or you go to a hospital and you're in a therapy group for like 4, 5, 6 hours a day for 3 to 5 days a week. So it's very, very intensive. So lots of times this could be for substance abuse. People that are new into recovery lots of times can go here. Even not so new into recovery can go here. People that are transitioning out of a psychiatric hospital could go here. People that don't want to go into a psychiatric hospital could enroll in a program like this, where it's a lot of intensive support during the day, and then you can kind of go home and decompress and relax and kind of digest everything that you learned and talked about and processed in the comforts of your own home. So that's what IOP is. That's different than a day support program, which is where you go and it may be for 6 hours a day, but you're learning tasks, you're doing things that may be helpful and may be therapeutic, but it's not therapy. It's not like, hey, we're going to go and we're going to talk about all the skills for staying sober and how you're going to use those skills when you're not in this support anymore. It's things like, hey, let's go to this day support and figure out how you're going to plan your day. How are you going to work on preparing meals. It could be somebody that has experienced a traumatic brain injury, and now they're going during the day to relearn how to do their day-to-day activities and being able to engage in all these different types of activities that can help with that. So that's how those are a little bit different.